Hey guys, Dr. Segal, UroCoach. So the question is, my mother told me that it's bad to hold on to urine in the bladder. Is this true? What do you guys think? Hey guys, Dr. Segal, UroCoach. So I'm partnering with Medtronic to give you some bladder health tips, and I'm answering part 2 of the question, my mother told me that it's bad to hold on to urine in my bladder. Is that true? So if you haven't already, check out the first video on the topic, and I'm going to get right back into it. We're going to go over 3 more studies that illustrate the point that holding on to urine in your bladder is a bad idea. But please first like, subscribe, comment. We want to hear what you guys want us to talk about, okay? So the next study I want to go over is a study from European Urology. And what they found was there was a 2 to 4 times increased chance of bladder stone formation in those that held on to urine in their bladder. Now, why is this? Okay, so if you hold on to urine in your bladder, urine will crystallize, and minerals such as calcium and phosphate will start to form stones over time. People oftentimes wonder, wait a second, I thought stones in the urinary tract were because of some type of metabolic abnormality or because of a family history of stones. And that's very true for kidney stones, but bladder stones are a little bit of a different animal. Bladder stones form because urine stagnates or stays in the urinary tract, and when it stays there for an extended amount of time, then it starts to crystallize. So why are bladder stones bad anyway? Well, there's a few reasons. Okay, first of all, they cause chronic inflammation and irritate the lining of the bladder. Number 2, they can cause perpetual blood in the urine. Okay, number 3 is they collect bacteria on them. So stones make it more likely that you're going to get urinary tract infections. And number 4, they can obstruct the flow of urine from your bladder by a ball valve phenomenon at the bladder outlet. So you do not want bladder stones, okay? The next study I want to go over is from the International Urogynecology Journal. And what they looked at was the effect of holding on to urine, so retaining urine in your bladder, on the strength of your bladder muscle. Now what they found was actually your bladder capacity would increase by 30% if you held on to urine in your bladder, but it was at the expense of the strength of the muscle in the bladder, okay? The bladder muscle is called the detrusor muscle, and that muscle is responsible for getting urine out. They found that there was a 25% decreased effectiveness of the detrusor muscle in individuals that were chronic retainers. Now, to be clear, that is not a trade-off that you want, okay? You don't want to have a higher bladder capacity at the expense of the strength of your bladder, right? So you want your bladder to squeeze as best as possible to get urine out. All right, and the final study I want to go over is from the University of Iowa, and what they looked at was stress urinary incontinence and the effect of holding onto urine for individuals with stress urinary incontinence and causing stress urinary incontinence. So stress incontinence means when you cough or sneeze or laugh, you leak urine. What they found in this study is individuals that were chronic retainers of urine had a 22% chance increase of having stress urinary incontinence. Why is that? If you think about your bladder as sort of sitting on a hammock in your pelvis, and the pelvic musculature is that hammock, if there's more weight on that hammock, then it's going to get weaker. Those pelvic muscles are going to get weaker. Think about a regular hammock. If there's 5 people on a regular hammock, it's going to get weaker and sag. Same thing happens with your pelvic muscles. So that predisposes you to leak when you cough or sneeze or laugh. So guys, I hope that's helpful to you in giving you 3 more studies that explain why it is a bad thing to hold on to urine in your bladder. Please check out our full content on realurology.com. Like, subscribe, comment. We want to hear what you guys want us to talk about. Now remember, InterStim therapy isn't indicated for all of the conditions I mentioned today, but it is approved for overactive bladder with symptoms of urinary urgency, frequency, urge urinary incontinence, and non-obstructive urinary retention. If you're leaking, check out the website talkleaks.com. There's a lot of good resources there. Thank you so much for listening. We certainly appreciate it. Have a great day.